Oh my goodness, that was a smooth transition. I got the sliding bar down today, fellas. I'm really proud of myself for that.
Yay!
Yay! That deserves a air horn
bud.
later on today. Thank you. Today's gonna be pretty awesome. And by the way, happy Labor Day, everybody. Everyone out there, happy Labor Day weekend.
Happy Labor Day.
Yes. So much news out there. Some good read in the Patriot Journal, not Patriot Journal. What's it called? Penn Live.
You got a little teaser right there, didn't we?
I do. I'm excited, but I don't want to talk about that today. That's going to be a whole episode in itself. But we do have someone from another country who currently lives there. He is, dude. He is the original Joe Exotic. All right. It's not Dan Jones, though. It is not Dan Jones.
No.
He lives in Mexico. He's a big, big coffee drinker. Does anyone have any ideas who this might be?
I can't
Manuel
think.
Noriega.
No, it is Norway. Oh. Our mystery guest today is, reveal yourself, mystery guest, Jeremy Clouser.
Wait a minute. My ears are hearing Jeremy Clouser, but why am I seeing Luka Doncic in front of me in the video?
Well,
Dude, you look like him now,
Yeah,
man, and that's not a bad thing.
yeah, my step back three. I've been practicing my step back three. 40 foot.
You had a step back three when you were in 8th grade. What are you talking about?
Hodge would
audience
not
members.
approve of that three-pointer.
Oh, he did. He had the green light. He had the green light.
Nah, well, that's a good story. I can tell.
All right, audience members. So Jeremy Clouser is
Yep.
a Middletown graduate of 1995. Also a super interesting story with Jared. He came in from Australia and befriended our friend group here. He's an original grommet from the day one era and now lives in Mexico City and is the founder of 2+1 now, right? Jared, am I correct? Your third store's opening right now with Chiquitito Cafe.
3+4.
3+4.
Oh,
Yeah.
some
So,
research,
I
Rich.
mean, I'm telling you, he's the Mexican Starbucks. So
Could be.
it's been 10 years, right, Jared?
Yeah, 10 years since we opened. You could say, started the work, the build out. And we opened in March 2012.
Well, it's so funny. Our last guest, David Butcher, dabbles in coffee at Little Amps, and now our next guest is an avid coffee person. This
So
is a
you
nice
guys
little
could
trend
get
here.
like an import-export type deal going
Yeah.
here.
Well, that's one of the things that we've been thinking about here.
So do you
Getting
do
that platform.
you do coffee
Nice.
and do you make your own food there as well, treats, that kind of stuff?
Yep. Basically, we have 5 or 6 different sandwiches, and then they're all prepared in the moment. And then we have it's one of those things. I'll probably throw in a few Spanish words here, but like pastries and stuff like that, and then some like banana bread and things like that we do.
Some
How long have you been
dulce.
down there?
Cookies and what's that?
How long have you been living down there?
I've been here 16 years now in Mexico City.
Wow.
16 years
So-
in June.
So you initially
wow.
went there though to teach, right?
Well, basically, I met my wife, who's from Mexico City. We were studying together in London. We did a master's degree together. And then I went back to Middletown for a little bit, and she came back here, and then I packed a couple bags and
Got out of there as fast as
came,
Adios, Middletown.
which is not the. I mean, I should be showing the love, I guess, on this podcast, but yeah, that's basically what happened, and then we've been together ever since. And
So when you first came here with her, you were teaching English though, right?
Well,
Or no?
what I did, the teaching English was before.
Okay.
When I came to Mexico, I got a job in a high school here to teach history and I guess you would say social studies, and that was an interesting experience. I did that for 3 years, and then during that time we started the planning for the cafe. This is like 2008.
Oh.
And then there was like the financial crisis and stuff like that, I guess you could say, the first one. And I didn't speak Spanish or anything at that time. So
Wow.
I did, but not great. And so I went back to teaching and kept on with the idea. And I had about 150 students a semester, more or less.
Wow.
I
Okay.
taught in the it's called the American School, which is basically expats and stuff. And then in the university here, I taught a photography class in the afternoon and like a sociology of trends, basically. And so that it was the full days and I did that for about 3 years, and then we opened the cafe.
Oh, and your photography is blowing up on
Transition.
Instagram. I see. It's like a passion of yours, hey?
Well, I mean that's what my master's degree was. And
Really? I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was basically
Good
sociology.
investment.
Well, it was basically how to study the city using the camera as the methodology.
Did you know I'm related to Nan Goldman?
Investigation. Really? No, you're not. You
I'm
have different
definitely
spelling.
not. No. I'm just proud I knew that name, you know.
Yeah, was part of my study. I used her as a reference.
Ant Man, we used to call him.
And
You studied her as well, Matt, or?
Well, she's family, you know. So
Okay.
I can't be objective about her.
Okay.
so, Jer, what did you do before Mexico? You were in Korea, right, for a little bit, were you not?
No, I did touch Korean soil, but I was across the sea in Japan.
Ah,
Japan.
yes.
For 2 years. That's where I taught English.
You were in Japan?
That's what it was.
Or,
Yeah,
oh,
2 years.
interesting.
On the-
My daughter's obsessed with Japan as
Oh yeah.
it's the only authentic producer of anime or manga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, if you have questions about manga or anime, dude, I know it, man. I know it all.
Yeah. My son went through the Pokemon phase.
Oh,
I think every child does that.
Yeah.
now we're on to the more like violent and creepy anime manga stuff. We're like,
Yeah. Okay.
there's, I don't know. A lot of
don't
people
approve-
die, but
You're not approving of the. I can.
I
tell.
mean, she's 10, but I'm like, oh, it seems a little violent. But then I was like, well, man, a lot of those rap lyrics I was into at that age, there was a little bit of killing too. So it didn't affect me in a bad way. I don't think. We'll be okay. Their schools don't get
Well,
shot
as long
up,
as
so.
Well, it's always good. Jared brought up a good point about Middletown, and we joke often about Middletown in regards to leaving or coming back or leaving again. I feel like we've all done that homage, but we all attribute a lot of our roots to Middletown and the fact that we were able to build these and cultivate these great friendships because
Yep.
it was kind of nice because the socioeconomic part of that town has given us the ability to kind of all get along. In that same regards, though, to go back to Middletown, Jer, was a stellar soccer player and basketball player and baseball player. He was one of those rare three-sport athletes.
The triple threat.
The triple threat, the original triple threat. Except for
Wait a
hitting the
minute. He was a 6'2" ponytailed center.
Yeah, you're taller than
I
6'2",
don't
Jer,
even know
aren't
if that's ever been done before.
That was I had some tough nights, man. If I remember it, it was tough. Sometimes in my dreams, I remember some guys from Susquehanna when we played. They just looking up, and as they jump over me, that was some.
Yeah, but they knew your elbows well by the end of the game.
Positioning, defensive positioning. That was.
No, you were a rebounding king, but there was no doubt, Jared, you excelled in all three. You were a great teammate to me, and I know that for a fact. And we had a great childhood growing up together. But yeah, so there's always some fun stories there. As the audience may know, that Mooch is a year older than us. We played on some of those great basketball teams together. And then obviously, Darth Chunker over there was able to kick the football around a little bit on the pitch with his red cleats.
No, I didn't
Were you
wear
guys
them
teammates
for
in your
soccer.
senior year?
Junior and senior.
Junior and senior
Yeah,
year?
I didn't start playing soccer till like junior year, so that's when I joined up.
So kids, there's always hope out there. You can pick up the sport when you're
in 11th grade.
Old.
Yeah, it's never too late.
Do you guys have any remember any stories of being on the same pitch together?
I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I remember Jer pretty much controlled the midfield.
You guys are building me up a bit too much.
It was actually the elbows again, man. It's kind of his.
Sorry, Matt. Now I'm trying to. Yeah, I think I did give you a couple.
More than a couple, man. I was like at the perfect height to catch one of your elbows. That's why my
coming
nose
down
looks
the
like
lane.
this.
No question.
Yeah, because Jer was taller than
What I
most
remember-
of them, so the elbows were head level for him.
Matt always did. He's like the floater in the lane at the free throw lane.
The
Line.
leapfrog.
That was your
hop.
signature shot.
Do you remember you had a name for a certain layup that I did? Do you remember it?
Now that you say it, I do. I don't know.
And the move is like it's kind of an up and under. It's like you kind of act like you're going up to get the big guy to jump, and then you go under.
Yep.
And you call it the patented.
Yeah.
You're always like the patented.
Yeah. No, those were some long practices. Gosh, that's what I remember most from those sports are the practices.
Yes, never ending.
Long
As if we had nothing else to
practices.
do besides play sports.
Yeah,
I remember
the year of Matt. That was like the end of an era. That year.
Matt's senior year.
Yeah, it was. I have to say.
Yes, that was a hell of a run for us.
That was good. It was a good.
That was the overachiever year. I mean, we were like teeny tiny. We made it to the playoffs. Like, Jared was like our only starter over 6 feet tall. I think.
Yeah.
I was 6'3".
Scotty Clouser was our power forward, and he was legit.
Yep.
You know. Yeah, that was a fun year.
Yeah.
No, we had some good battles.
Rocky Jeffries, man, good lord, unguardable.
Slide. Left hand.
Yes, the left floater too. Well, speaking of food, Jeremy, tell me more about your restaurant. Like, do you make your food, or does you purchase it from somewhere else and then assemble it? Like, how do you guys do your cafe?
Well, basically, the way it's worked was my wife, she's basically the food part, and not control, but the drinks and the everyday management.
Well, you're a rock star on the YouTube. I watched some of those clips. You can pour a mean like little milk leaf and all that good stuff.
not anymore. The people the barista, they've been they surpass me now. Basically, it's like anything. It practice and confidence, and it comes out. If you don't practice it, you kind of lose the skill a little bit.
Oh, wow.
I'm not behind the bar too much
Well,
anymore.
I watched those videos. I'm like, wow, look at this. This is something.
Yeah.
This is something wild.
Yeah, you gotta everything counts.
What is
All
your?
the
This is a
details.
loaded question. How do you guys feel
Yeah.
about GMOs?
Genetic. I'm against genetic.
I kind of
Although-
expected that.
I mean, it's a kind of here in Mexico. You get with corn and things like that. It's a ironic because a lot of the culture here, the food culture, is based on corn, and there's about 100 or so different varieties. And well, I'm not going to get into NAFTA and all those. Part of
All right, Noam
what
Chomsky.
happened was a lot of seeds came into Mexico and has become damaging in some way to the indigenous corn production. But that's just one part. I mean, genetically modified organisms in the right place can have some benefit in drought resistance and robustness. But especially with the climate change that we're undergoing right now, that can could be a tool in the toolbox of food production for the long term.
Well, I feel like you and Mooch could have your own podcast, and you guys could really literally just go on and on about your political views and
we had
modified foods.
a little Mexican supermarket around the corner here, La Tienda, and they all of a sudden started getting this, like, and this was kind of like before it was the hot neighborhood and all that. Like, people were coming there to buy the Coca-Cola from there, and it was like, why? What's so special about it? Because it was, here's the thing. Do you have any guesses? I know he knows. American Coca-Cola is made with corn syrup. The stuff that comes in from Mexico is actually made from sugar cane. So
why do you know so much about Coca-Cola? Why does every episode we have to do with Fanta or Coca-Cola or some sort of like soda pop?
I have a vendetta against Coca-Cola. As Mos Def said, the type of cats that'll pollute your whole shoreline, then purify and sell it for $1.99.
Oh my goodness! I am fall behind on the cheers and booze.
Boring.
Yeah, you said at the Mos Def face. I mean.
That is a topic here in Mexico, basically, because
so go ahead, John.
No, I was going to say,
drinks.
like, right now, I think in the U.S., the closest thing you can get to, like, the Mexican Coca-Cola is, like, RC Cola.
Yeah.
It does. It's
Matt, I'm not...
Good.
Sorry. Gary.
No, go ahead. It's more like the original
no,
Coke was, you know.
Yeah. I don't know if they're selling you that if it's actually made with sugar cane still. I'm not sure.
Right.
I am going back about 5 years, so.
Yeah, it might have some sly marketing as well.
Yeah, I mean, they probably tweak it every couple years with some new ingredients and that kind of some new substitutes and all that.
Either way, Matt's fired up.
Coca-Cola here is huge.
Oh, is it?
Huge. Oof. It's
Can you get Pepsi
everybody
there?
drinks Coke. You can get Pepsi, yeah.
Well, I guess original Coke had cocaine in it, so
Yeah.
you really can't compete with the original Coca-Cola.
No.
No.
And can you get Coke there too, Jer? Mexico.
You could if you wanted. I could send you to the neighborhood where
I think, I don't know if we make it out of that neighborhood. That's the problem.
Put it in some coffee
You would-
cans and ship it up north.
yeah.
So I saw a YouTube video
Go ahead.
of speaking of shipping, of a gentleman who was trying out. I didn't realize the coffee culture of Mexico is such like world renowned. And this individual bought all these coffee beans from all over the place, and one of them was your shop. So tell me a little bit more coffee beans. I mean, is that something like you like go out and find your own coffee beans and then you relabel it, like, or do you kind of mix it together with other beans? Like, I don't know how that all works.
Well, I mean, depends how deep you want to go. Basically, Mexico it's this very blessed place in terms of having fruits, vegetables, natural products, chocolate, corn, turkey, even originated here in Mexico.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Turkey?
Yeah.
Y'all grow turkeys there?
But if you go to your local specialty coffee place in the U.S., you'll look on the bags and they'll say direct relationship bought directly from the farm, and they'll label it with the farm name depending how specific they get. But one of the things that the beauty of being here is that in an hour or 2 hours, I can be on a coffee farm talking with the person who's growing the coffee.
Oh wow.
And having that relationship. And that kind of traceability and relationship with the producer and the coffee bean is something really, really special. So the person that we source from is we have a direct relationship, and I can talk with him on whenever I want and see how things are going. So we can kind of develop the flavor profile of our espresso to our specifications.
So, Jer, this is kind of like the whole IPA beer craze in the United States right now, where everyone has their own type of beer now that they can they breweries around, and there's one every block now. Is that kind of like what coffee is in Mexico?
Well, you can basically group it all together into this kind of customer demand to know where the things that they're buying, where it comes from, who's producing it, how it was produced, and is it ethically sourced and produced, and how is that impacting the environment? And that's a global trend.
Wow.
And that is and the beer trend, you could mix that in it's part of that. So it's kind of like, well, if I'm going to pay premium price for a coffee, well, tell me about it. Where was it grown? How was it grown? How was it picked? How was it processed? Who roasted it? And how do you recommend me to prepare it and things like that?
Wow.
So if I buy a coffee that's labeled as fair trade coffee, how reliable is that label?
Well, the fair trade coffee is basically someone saying that what they consider to be a fair price, that is what they pay for the coffee.
So
Whether or not, basically, there's what you should really look for, and is direct trade, meaning that person bought it directly from someone producing it, which basically means there's less middlemen taking their part out. And there's now, for certain coffee companies, they do traceability profiles that show how much they buy their coffee for. And basically going into this living wage. What is a living wage? Kind of how, because most people producing coffee, not just in Mexico, all over the world, basically it's small plots of land, and it's more or less sustainable, like agriculture that they go year by year. And so in order to get better product, a better coffee, better conditions, and so that it becomes a sustainable business, that they need to have better practices. And in order to do that, they need charge more for their product, and to know to charge more. So it's very complicated, and very simple at the same time. And so what we try to do is know exactly what coffee we're buying from, and pretty much we could say, at least with if you buy a bag of us, I could pretty much tell you which tree it comes from, almost, on this farm. And that I think that is that makes one feel quite good to have that kind of connection to the land, I guess you'd say.
It's definitely a cultural thing. I'm just thinking, like, the best coffee you can get in Durham, like, started many years ago, but I know this girl. She's from Mexico, and
counterculture.
No, it's called Cocoa Cinnamon. I don't think I know counterculture though.
They're an industry heavyweight that's started in North Carolina. It's a very interesting story.
They're here.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, what was interesting about your whole story, and with her, I mean, she started as like sort of a food truck on it was called Bicycle Coffee, and it turned into Cocoa Cinnamon, which was like incredible. And then there's a couple of them, but she was, I remember her being the first business to implement this minimum living wage. Like, we don't pay anybody under $15. And
wow.
I mean, it's pretty progressive here. And it was like, as soon as she did it, it was kind of like a steamroll. But I remember that was the first one. And I mean, you were just talking about the living wage, so that all ties together to coffee. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, Mexico is a land of contrast, is what I'll say, like everywhere in the world. But I mean,
Middletown
it's definitely
the original land of contrast.
Mexico comes second. Go ahead.
You definitely see many things in one day, and as you travel around, you can become desensitized and kind of like you're in a beautiful place, but then there's someone struggling, and
it's not beautiful for everybody. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely a relationship that you have to kind of, what is my role here? What am I doing? And kind of, well, in any place really, but but go ahead.
So, Jer, so I've been hearing the news that the coffee prices are going up. Is that a reflection upon Mexico, or is it a different? Is it Argentina? Is the other one?
No, there was going back to global warming. There was a frost.
You're no longer dictating the show.
There was a frost in Brazil over the winter, and that basically killed a large part of their crop this year. So there's supply shortage as a result of that.
So how does one get a quality cup of coffee from your establishment? Are you exporting, or is it solely just you have to visit the shop?
No, you can. We've been working on this website for a while to relaunch it and to make it more accessible for like buying online and global export. And so soon, probably in a couple of weeks, you'll be able to go chiquititocafe.com.
Nice.
We will.
and to buy it. The one prohibitive is that I'm trying to get the cost of shipping down to so it's now the shipping costs more than the coffee outside Mexico. So I'm working on that.
That's what our T-shirts had the same problem.
So Jer,
I thought of like a good cup of coffee a little bit like good produce at the farmer's market. It almost becomes like a luxury of the rich. And they've implemented here, which I don't know how many places have done it, where they're like, we keep telling everyone they got to eat this and eat healthy and, but they actually made the farmer's market, everything there works with like the SNAP and the food programs and the, what we used to call food stamps, which I think really levels the playing field, because like you can't be like, oh, you need to eat this healthy apple, but it costs $3, but they make it accessible to people that aren't,
That's a great question.
So
what
is there something similar to coffee?
What is the price of a cup of coffee in your shop comparable to like a Starbucks, which is like $3?
well, that was like part of my question. So in Mexico, do they gravitate more towards the smaller shops, or is Starbucks just as big there as it is here?
Yeah, Starbucks is huge here.
What? I would not think so.
Yeah.
It's gross.
There's about 2,000 shops here. There's a lot. Basically, Starbucks feels it was viewed as aspirational. So if I buy this cup of coffee from Starbucks and I walk around with my Starbucks cup, it shows people that I can afford a cup of coffee from Starbucks, and that makes me feel good that other people are seeing me with this cup. That has changed a little bit in the last couple of years as this kind of you could group one of the things going back is this food tourism in Mexico City and Mexico in general. There has really exploded. Like people, tacos, the Mexican Coke is part of that. That people come to, and this is probably partly to do with Enrique Olvera, which is the most famous chef here in Mexico. He became kind of like a global superstar. And if you watch The Chef's Table, he's on one of the episodes. And basically, he has this food in Mexico is ancient. It's thousands of years old, and very traditional things that have been passed on for generations. And to kind of update that in a new, modern way. And that has attracted a lot of people. So people come, and also people are searching this authenticity. So people will come from New York, Los Angeles, Miami, Austin, Texas, and stuff like that come, and it's funny. They'll come do a food tour, and they'll go to the restaurant of Enrico Olvera. Then they'll go to the street tacos to eat cow's tongue and brain on the street and things like that. And then they'll come to our place the next morning to have their coffee. And then they'll go to this Xochimilco, which is the original, as Mexico City was built on a lake, basically. These are floating little plots of land that they grow crops on. And then there's like these food tours, and that has really exploded in the last few years. And so people also in Mexico, going back to your original question, now have this pride of, I come to Chiquitito and other places like us because of how it's supporting this idea of Mexican agriculture, celebrating it, and that's quite nice actually. But that is another status symbol if we look at it from a sociological perspective.
So I'm assuming none of your cafes have a drive-through.
No, we don't. I mean, it's called Chiquitito because it's literally the room that Matt's in is bigger than the first cafe.
Oh wow!
So
you know that
will you guys write my
18
name on the
square
cup
meters.
and spell it wrong too?
No, we don't.
That's a Starbucks.
If you come with, say, Carlito, they don't know exactly how to.
But they would be expecting me to be a lot tougher than I am. So.
But basically, you know what that you have it on here on the screen. That's why. Do you know what that means? It's Carlito.
It means something different for me.
Okay. It basically means little Charles.
Little Charles,
Little Carlos.
Little Charles,
Yeah.
not in charge.
That's one of the things that's like Chiquitito, Carlito. That's something they do here in Mexico. It's called a diminutive, and basically it makes everything small, and it's like kind of like a warm way of saying things.
When you add like the ito to the end.
Exactly.
Muchito.
Like
Machito.
you can make fun of me, but I'm too dumb to understand, and I'm like,
I love it. I love it. No, this is brilliant.
I got to bring it down. Like, make me think about something because
Go ahead.
Right before the whole pandemic, and I know this has to be a parallel to the coffee business. There is a business that's very huge in our area, the cocoa business, chocolate. And they had
Spanish?
like this. Probably not even close. But they have this whole thing on the history of like Hershey and chocolate and the cocoa farmers, which I think is more South American. And I'm like watching this like Disney-fied display of like what's going on. I'm like, yo, I know it's way darker than this. So I looked it up, and yeah, like there's a lot of exploitation going on with the cocoa. Is cocoa a thing in Mexico or no? Or is that like more?
Sure is, yeah.
Yeah. And you see the same type of thing?
I mean, but what's your question?
I don't know.
Matt never has a question. Matt.
Is there exploitation of people?
He just has statements.
It was just like, look,
Jer catching on very quickly.
My point was like, are there like, you're kind of in the coffee world, and there's a chocolate world. Like, do you guys feel like a similar?
Definitely.
What's the word I'm thinking of? Team, not team.
Brotherhood.
Yeah,
Brethren.
brotherhood. Like, dude, the
Yeah,
brotherhood.
definitely. There is. It's very similar. It's almost like the same process. You get the fruit, you open it up, and you process it. Then you have to roast it and grind it and stuff like that. We sell two different types of chocolate and chocolate bars. Well, three different types actually, and it's kind of like almost like a virgin chocolate that hasn't been mixed with like sugar or anything. It's kind of like, so it has a bitter, almost fermented taste to it. It's not necessarily the chocolate. Yeah, you're not going to sit down and eat the whole bar at once. That's for sure.
Well, Chocolate World actually has a taste of chocolates by the world, and Mexico was one, and basically all of them were like really chocolate except for the Hershey's chocolate, which was like a bunch of sugar with like maybe a squeezed bean or something in it.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
I don't know. I hear keywords and I can't help my locker room humor every time I hear things like, Matt's Little or virgin chocolate or anything like that. And I always think
we smoked Hershey in 1998.
Yeah.
We beat them by like 20 points. I don't know.
Trojans.
Yeah.
Another little locker room talk. So, hey, so let's take a break real quick and we'll transition to the next segment. Jer, don't go anywhere. You're stuck with us for the next 2 days, okay?
All right.
What?
All right, we're gonna do a little transition.
How many children do you have?
I have two kids, a boy and a girl. My boy is 10, and my daughter is 7.
Wow.
Should be 8 soon. Mm-hmm.
I have a
Busy
10-year-old
man.
daughter now.
Great.
Oh,
Yeah. 5th grade.
that's great, yeah. Why is that so funny, man?
I'm being genuine and in the moment. So.
But it's the delivery.
Yeah.
What? I'm just like, oh, yeah, I can relate. I have kids the same age. Why is that so funny?
Yeah.
If it wasn't Mooch, it wouldn't be as funny.
So I don't have like a story that like is gonna like spiral off of that.
He was in the car when I talked to Rich the other day. They were like, "Who is that guy? Who are these guys?" Because we go to Middletown pretty much every year.
Oh, right.
But not for a long time. So they know Middletown, but during the summer, there's not really any activities. So we go mostly in summer. And so they don't really have a lot of knowledge of what it's like. And everybody, you guys are all scattered about it. It's kind of difficult.
Well, Jared, we were talking in our phone call. You said you could pick up that we have a distinct accent, and it's funny because we're so into it, and we're always listening to your accent. But it's funny that you could say that we have an accent, which is I think it's kind of compelling too.
Yeah, do I have an accent? Or?
No, not at all. Not.
Yeah, it's like so much going on that you can't even call it an accent.
No, there's a distinct Central Pennsylvania drawl. I can. Yeah,
It's kind of like how Philly has
did you hear
theirs.
when we were talking about the word Okie? Do you remember the word Okie? I don't even think that's Central PA. That's just Middletown, right?
Yeah, that's.
It's pretty okie.
Time period. I think that's
it's
10 years.
Well,
Okie.
I am excited
Remember that?
because not only do we have that, but I do want to pick your brains. There's so much to learn. And Jared,
Go
please
ahead.
make sure that you're a continued guest on this show because we're going to pull you in a lot. So don't be a stranger to things. But we always like to have every episode with a question of the week by one of our panel members here. But we really don't preface what it may be, but
Okay.
Whose turn is it? Mooch's or Chunks? Who had it this
Mooch had
today?
one, but I want to follow up on one that our last guest answered. So I'm going to keep it going.
Oh,
Okay.
Because
okay.
I
Go
think
for it.
Jer might have been able to one-up him on this. So I just want to see.
All right, let's hear it.
So, last time Dave said, what was it, the 4th or 5th grade he had his first kiss, right?
4th.
Yeah. So I'm curious with Jer because I think Jer is up there with it.
No, mine was after that.
Because Jer was like,
No, it's just, well, I mean, when I arrived to Middletown, when I grew up in Tasmania and girls and stuff, it wasn't really in my orbit.
Right.
And when I came to Middletown, that was kind of quite new to me.
and then all the girls just swooned over you once you got here.
Yeah, I think I was more like 13, 14.
So that's when you moved to Middletown, you were third. Wait, how old were you when you moved here?
I was 11. Yeah.
Did you guys share the first kiss together, Chunk?
Me and Jer?
Yeah.
I tried, but
So, Jerry, you didn't realize you were a thirst trap until you came to Middletown. I just wanted to use that word.
I didn't. Yeah, it was
No way to handle it.
a totally new experience, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean,
That's
Thirst
funny.
trap. Okay, here was
So-
the other question that
Yeah.
I think was like, here we go. Here's our
no,
random.
he has me beat on that. That's
I think he might have that record.
yeah.
That's a tough one to beat,
Who?
but I thought maybe Dave with the 4th grade. or
4th
whatever.
grade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was reading at like a 10th grade level at that time. So
Right.
makes sense.
The
Okay,
notes
who's the
he
greatest
was passing were really sophisticated and
Who's the greatest musical artist to originate from Australia?
Ooh.
Well,
Ooh.
for me, it's quite. I mean, the one that's had a biggest impact and kind of has shaped my political view and outlook on life. It would be Peter Garrett and Midnight Oil. You'd say,
That was
And,
what do you mind?
Shocker.
and yeah, that's short and sweet. There's one I like now. The Courtney Barnett. She's from Australia as well. She's more current. Midnight Oil. We're going to go on tour last year. But we'll see. Hopefully.
They're still touring. That's amazing.
No, they took like a 10-year, 15-year break, basically.
How about to say?
so
It's
Jer-
Peter Garrett. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm going to ask if you remember, because I think in either the audition or the actual show, because we did the 8th grade talent show together, me, you, and Ben.
Yeah.
And I think we played one of the Midnight Oil songs.
Blue Sky Mining.
Yeah, so here's the talent show. And it just so happened, it
Gosh.
just got through together like that night. Ben was there to do a talent show with
Yeah.
juggling and stuff. And me and Jer, I don't know how we ended up in it. So I was lip syncing a song,
Yeah.
and Jer was
And
dancing, and Ben was juggling a
Gosh.
soccer ball. And that was our talent for the talent show. And,
Oh,
and I think during...
That was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life.
it was pretty bad.
Well, good job bringing it up.
I think Jer's parents recorded it, and hopefully that has been deleted or burned and destroyed.
Oh,
My grandmother was visiting from Australia during that moment.
here's the surprise for the show, Jeremy.
So
We're gonna be posting that video with the end credits.
Although that VHS might still, my parents still have a lot of cassettes and VC video because it might still be there.
Have them destroyed.
I hope so.
I think during it, while Ben was juggling, he messed up or something, and I think he just got frustrated and nailed the ball, and it hit you like in the back or something.
And like bounced into the crowd or something like that.
Yeah, we totally didn't have anything planned like our podcast, and we just went and did this. Us three of us did our own individual thing up there. There was no talent really at all.
And it's one of those songs that becomes eternal. It's like, what is this
I bought, I think, that album after that because of that song.
It's one of their better ones, actually.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. No, Midnight Oil forever. I mean, that's how
we could
introduce
talk
them
about
from you as well. You used to make the killer mixtapes, Jeremy, and all kinds of you guys have all this like awesome songs that I never heard of until.
I remember Rich had Phil Collins cassettes. This is
I respect that. I respect
Dancing in the Air tonight.
That's right.
Dude, DMX remade that song, man. Like, there's no shame in that. It was. I feel like you guys are neglecting to acknowledge that Nick Cave is from Australia. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not only the great, I mean, like, dude. Let's talk about Nick Cave, man. What do you know about Nick Cave?
Well, he rooms with you and Christian Leitner.
A phenomenal artist. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
He's my favorite. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Oh,
And
really?
he's actually a good writer and a good movie script writer and incredible music. And I don't know, man. He's like one of my top dudes.
I think he does.
Did you know about him when
Cash.
you came over?
No, he was.
He was probably like pretty underground, like.
Probably, yeah.
Didn't he marry Mariah Carey?
No, he did not.
Yeah, but Nick Cave does a song with Johnny Cash. It's good. They do a Hank Williams remake. It's a good song.
Yeah.
Rich, I really wish I could
that's all I know
mute you
of
right
Nick
now, but I don't have that ability.
You don't have the access for that, buddy.
Yeah.
It'll never happen. One day soon. But listen, Jeremy, so thankful.
Wait,
I mean, for you to
didn't
make
get
time.
you didn't get my song or my group.
I thought we
I
knew.
thought you were
what's
talking about
yours,
talent
Gary?
show.
Well, I was talking about the talent show, but
I thought that was your song, though, too.
no, I do like
fault.
that. I do like
My
Midnight
bad.
Oil. But I also like In Excess.
Yeah.
They got some good ones.
Oh, how did we not? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now you guys know.
Great
Wait,
choice.
say it again.
In Excess.
In excess. Okay.
Yeah.
How do we not? How do
Michael
we neglect
Hutchins.
NXS?
Yeah.
Michael
No
Hutchins
doubt.
is his name, right?
Hutchins.
Hutchins. He
Yeah.
hung himself while in the throes of passion, I believe.
Wah,
It's
wah,
only-
wah.
Oh man.
Well,
What a
watch the
downer.
Netflix documentary. It's eye-opening.
Oh, they have a documentary on him?
Yeah. It kind of
Oh.
basically he had like a brain trauma. He was he got punched in the head and fell and hit his head, and he had like a swollen brain for about a month and never really recovered. And after that, he never like
Turn to
was
CTE.
normal again.
Yeah.
After that, he didn't go to the hospital or anything, and he didn't get treated. So
Oh jeez. Well, on that somber
Tragic.
note,
yeah, tragic Australian.
I just
What
said
is it
I
out
like the
on
music.
head
Which
injury
brought
and
up the
suicide?
hanging.
oh, I know. I mean, Keith Urban would have been a better outro than that.
Yeah.
So, but Jer, seriously,
What's
thank
that?
you. I mean, you're making
No.
time from Mexico City. You're as busy as can be with 4 stores and 2 kids. We all know the challenges that comes with that. And not only that, but you're making time
Well-
for us 3 idiots. So,
Well, right
I
now
couldn't
the
be more
U.S.
thankful.
is playing Canada, so and
Yes,
first
but without
World
Christian,
Cup,
it doesn't.
second World Cup qualifier. So
True. Oh my God! Did you just hear the difference in sound when Chunk muted his mic?
No. But I think I'm tired.
Is it the cicadas again?
okay,
All right,
most
Grommets.
that,
Goodness,
okay,
goodness.
signing
Mooch
off.
clocked out already.
Grommets, it's great to see you, and they will never
I
tear
did-
us apart.
So that's a wrap for episode 5. I want to thank Jer Clouser for joining us. It's great to have him on the show. I am right now enjoying the beautiful weather here in Marysville, Pennsylvania. I got Clyde the dog here with me. Going for a walk. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Hopefully a new guest. And we'll see you then. Thanks.